So hello and welcome. I don't know why I keep getting network issues whenever I'm live. So my internet just broke. Needed to rejoin, but I don't understand why every time I go live I have to experience these issues. Uh, okay, so I was explaining the issue we had with the dependency injection, and apparently it was in our constructor which was causing the issue because I had assigned, if we check all the changes that I have made here, you can see we removed the name from the constructor so that we just pass a default value once the class is constructed. Then now we have the getters and setters put in place so that we can always update these values. So that's it. That's how we solve the problem with the dependency injection. So I think I'll just commit this. It's day 8, which will be fix backend dependency issue with the Versify app not running. So for day 8, okay, I'll just commit these changes. So I'll sync, then get back here again. So I'm not so much into software testing, so but tests are really important. So let's try and set up our backend, our front end to, because the thing I really want to know is why we can't get the IP. So I want to try and see whether we can get that IP from rather than Postman. So in our front end, I will just set up some few pages. So because we are using a monorepo, what I'll do is to install an workspace. So for us to install a dependency in a given package, we'll now use some filter. So we'll write workspace front end, then we'll use the normal way for adding dependencies. So can add react router DOM. Then we can use also we'll need Axios and also Zod. Then we'll need to install some dependencies for our forms. So React hook form. React hook form, just click on get started. Then we'll pick this, paste here. Then I'll go to where we have integration with other validations. So usually have YAP. You can use either YAP. I don't know whether it's YUP or YAP, but let's see. We have app. So we'll need to install React Hook form. We need to install React Hook form resolvers. So with that, we'll add it here. So we have Zod, we have React Hook form, we have this hook. So just press enter. So because it's a monorepo, we can just confirm our unlock in the outer folder has been updated and the package.json in the front end has been updated. So the name you have to pass here whenever you're filtering out must match the name of the name which is specified in the package.json in your package. So we now have hook form Axios and we also React hook form Zod. So I'll need to set up a router page. Router, then I'll add an index.tsx. Then here we'll add import create browser router. So with this we'll export function port const router, which will point to create router. Then we'll pass a series of routes there. In our app, we'll delete this app CSS. We'll also do this in a bit. In our app dot this will extract and add route provider. Our route provider will require a router. Then you can remove everything else which is not used. So we'll need a router. Then we'll pass our router from the router. So that is it for setting up the routes. Then now if we go to our front end, you'll see we don't have app.css. Refresh, there will be nothing. That means that there's no page which has been registered. Also have the assets here. So I'll need to add Tailwind CSS. So we'll add Tailwind CSS auto prefixer and post CSS. So those will be our dev dependencies for the project. So then now we can go to our front end. Then we run npx tailwind css init-p. We press enter, should be able to create a post tailwind config.js. So in here we'll pass .src. Then we need some flags here for HTML, CSS, JS, JSX, CSS, and TS. So that will watch for changes. Next, I'll need to add Tailwind forms. So we have this form, and this is how it's being installed. So I'll just copy this and paste it here. Then instead of require, I'll use import the plugins. Yeah, I don't see any issue so far. I'll use import here. Then now I can go to index.css, then add at tailwind base, tailwind components, then at tailwind variants. So that's it for this. So next we'll need to go to our, here we'll add pages, and I'll just have my login page .tsx rfc. So if you don't have this kind of autocomplete, you can use you need to install React, this plugin, ES7 plus React Redux React Native snippets. Let me just update the stream. Seven. We'll just update the stream. Okay, so we can proceed. So we have our login page setup. I'll just use RFC generate template for us. Then now we can register that in our router here. We'll have this. So we'll have login page, home page, .ts RFC. Then we'll have it as then we'll have login page. We have the login page there. What I'll do is to just add here path, which will be pointing to login component. I will use lazy loading login page, which will be pointing to lazy. Then we'll import login page, but I'll set up aliases for this. In our use config app.json, we'll add an entry here for path. So here what we'll do, the base URL, then add a path for the src here. And next, for this to work, we'll need to update our void config.ts, so that go to resolve, so that it's able to interpret. So alias, and now we can add here the art to point to src, but we'll use file path. I need to import it. Path file URL. Say this. Somewhere, so file URL. Oh, it's from URL. File path to URL. Then we'll just point it to file path to URL. Then we new URL. Then we pass the import meta.url. Just close. So issue. So we can restart our server. Then check if the it is right. Something is working. So the login page, then you can point it to us, and you can pass the login page. Oh, it's element. and that's what you're going to do. Digital venture. Okay, okay. We'll need to pass this as a should be it. Then now we can pass our other one. Path phase element will be homepage. Then for the homepage, we'll import the homepage. So we'll just need to disable this linting file. Content me young dev y thanks Collins. Not find module. We have the uh, it here or someone else. Sure. Hmm. Because we have auto prefixes, so what's the issue here? Break. Okay, let me set up think this pleasure. Yan frontend workspace. Add Yan workspace frontend. Frontend. So it's there. Then we'll need to content, but put this in dev UI. Cannot find model auto prefixer. What's the issue here? I don't know. Let me remove this first. See whether it will. Let me see. Let me try and delete these two. Then we can pass the code. What if we now run the dev UI? Error dependency imported but could not be resolved. Okay, I think that is this. Just try this. And now wait. We'll enable that. Yeah, so now the front end is working. Yeah, I just not sure whether Tailwind isn't loaded. I should have Tailwind classes here. Here is our app. We have Tailwind loaded. Something is it's not right. Um, okay. Why is this fake? Why can't we load Tailwind? Main. What could why is Tailwind not? Let's see. Let me see the versions having 3.4, 8, the prefix at 10. 8, 10, 0.4. So everything is just, I think, okay. But why? Why can't we load Tailwind? Let me try. And there. See? Hmm. Okay, so I think let's worry about the tailwind later. We'll work it out later. I want to try and see the login will just have login page. Need email field, and the password. Then we can have our utilities. Then we'll have schema. Then we'll put login dot schema. Then we can import zod zod. So once we install that from zod, we can, what do we need from this? Let's check our postman and see what's needed for the login. We need email or username. Then we can export type login schema type. Then we can infer from login schema. So going back to our login page, we can import need to import React hook. We don't need the submit. Then const form. I think we'll just use the register. For the form, we'll need have default, but we'll need to pass login schema type. Then here we'll pass our the point where we use third-party station. Let me look. We have the app. We put a resolver. Need a resolver. And the resolver will take zod solver hook form zod. Then we'll pass login schema. So if we change this, now it should email or username. Submit. Just need to add here Axios API. No. API client T. So here we'll have index 6. Then I'll just have a simple instance of Axios. Import Axios from Axios. Then you can create a client. So our API client will pass a base URL. Base URL is localhost 8080. That's what we pass here. Then we can just export and export API client. So in the login page, we'll add our submit. So in the handle submit, the data will be getting, this should be form of handle submit. So handle submit should wrap. Handle submit should wrap this method, the data we pass in here. So we pass a callback function that will stop this and run it from this yarn dev. We run the backend and the front at the same time. Just if everything is working, we can go back. We have this data which is now pointing to the type that we had passed here. So we can just log our data for now. This should be an asynchronous function. Then we can put it in a try catch block. Catch error, then we can just log that error. So on submit, here we'll put in a form which will run the submit. Then we need to do the registration here. If we go to login page, we should be able to see this. Make so what we'll do, I think, send this request. Be able to see some console logs. You can see we some data. Whatever we pass, you see being logged here. So that means it's working. But we will also have this sub should be we'll try API client dot post auth login, then we pass the back will be API client dot post, then we can just log feedback data. Wait, yeah. Then now we can don't need this 8 block here. If we so if I pass this and go to the network, send, get 100. Okay, so this is a database issue in the backend. We need to update our backend. Yeah, the env. I think we have, this should be password. Then database should point to payroll underscore system. So send this. Or the user should be dev. No user data found. But point of interest, getting the IP. So let's go to auth service login in the controller. I think we had was an IP somewhere. Let's go to this. So we can check for have the context as our, and try and request maybe check. Was get client IP. Get client IP. Let's go to add IP. IP finder. So now we can try and log the IP. We'll have request here. So if send, so seemingly we got something. This is the IP. I think it's pointing to local. Let's see. HIP is this. Okay. Okay. I think we have something. In the crate here, we need data. Hmm. Hmm. How do we now pass this IP? Okay, so the next thing is we can our controller method inject. So inject IP body. So if we pass inject IP in body, it should doing the validation. We should if have inject IP in body. Context already okay. So let's see what we have. Go to the login service. So I'll just log the if we send this send oh we need to add inject. And we can just so this. So once we have that, we can meet, and you can see we have our IP. So was a way doing, we were resolving the IP. So I'll try and see how we can leverage on that. Const IP. Get the request from the then IP finder. Finder will be new finder, then dot get client IP. We pass the request. Format this client IP. This will be our client IP. Whatever we get here, should be it can also be empty, just an empty string. What we this, then we'll have our client IP there, body. Afterwards, if we end this, we get our this IP. What I'm not sure about is let me see the IP finder. Socket. Say IP will be IP const remote socket, then yeah, so we'll have all this, or empty string. So we'll return this, then omit this one, then we can just log so if now I send now I send this request. Okay, so yeah, I think now we are headed somewhere. I don't know whether I have ng-rock. Let me install ng-rock. So let me in. So I have ngrok set up. I'll try and tunnel port 3000. And try go to this. Interesting. Copy. So go to login. Test. Network. We get 500. No user data found. It's there in. So still pointing to localhost. I think, yeah. So hopefully when we deploy this, it will be able to work. So for now, we'll have it as that. So with this, I think client IP is okay. And get the IP. Then let's run our tests. They're still working. Thing has broken. Front end. Okay, but if you don't have any data, logins. Why should it be? Oh, this should be H status. Dot. Okay, I think they should be base message. And I think we'll just reuse this. Then we'll pass there. So if we send this invalid login credential. It's about meaning our backend can communicate with our front end. So we've so far connected our backend and the front end, and I think the login request body has here IP, which can be I don't know. Let's test. So this should be optional. And when now I go to login service, I think I should be able to get so let's try things that exist in the database. Let's get all the users available. Mike Juma. Let's use test one to test send. Yeah, so what the front end, I think we added session a minimum of 8. I want limit, I think let's have it at 6. If I try login, password must contain at least in the creation. What did we do? So we are creating the user, schema, create the password is to test one. Oh, nice. User login success. So that is working. You can see we have single user with ID 2. So this user, we need a way to filter out some fields, but we also need to create some fields here. So remember, we were supposed to be having to test our transactional aspect of this service. We go back to auth and go to the login. So if I go to my DB client, first of all, we needed to get user details, of which we have password matches. Then we'll check if the user is active. If user dot active is user is not active, then the account, I think we'll say user account is not active. Then afterwards. So after this confirmation, and now we can generate a token. So constants will be so we'll add a JWT or JWT service. So with the JWT service, dot assign tokens. The tokens what will pass is the ID, so in here for sending token, I think I'll need to change this type to pick. So in the pick, we'll pick the ID only, so that if we come this other side, we only get the ID, which that will be the user. It can be a string or a number. So I think we should get our access token, and so with the tokens, we generated the token. Then now we need to create in our payroll system, we have our token itself. We have the user ID, then the role of that. So this will be very handy for not really sure. I've done a lot of things, but I'm exploring dependency injection with the TypeScript. That's why I'm really trying to look these things up the best and most convenient way. So we had set up a transactional aspect of this. This is a transactional service, so we need a way to let's leave the token aspect. Then we need a session. So in the session, we'll need in the session, we'll insert into session our login session, we need to insert add login IP, which will be our user session ID. Then we can have Lincoln. So the login IP data dot or an empty string, not there, as infer insert insert Payroll. Yeah. Then I can add running anything. So we can log this session. Then we throw an error. Usually this does not have commit, so it will do an auto commit. Throw so we'll try this. If it will work, and JWT also has same issue we had. JWT. Oh, so in here we didn't add. Then we also need to add at dependency. Where we this dot access secret conf access secret. float. Yep, it's working. Let's send. Oh, so in the session ID, should be a UID. We'll need to add the generator and space backend add ID. Once we add the comma util, then I'll add e.ts, then we just export as which will be injectable. Then we'll also dependency. No import before as you. Then we'll check for valid. It's valid. So check for valid which is validate. Will return get UID, which should give us boolean whether it's valid or not. Then wait. So then we can pass that to our the log. We can inject UID. So our session ID will have an ID will point to this.uid dot generate, and let's just any entries session there is no and not implemented. If we there is no data, We have no date. And now we don't throw an error session. But if we send it's successful, and for this session, and in the database we have this session and everything is committed. So it's, I think, the way we have put it, so you can inject your transactional service so that when you throw an error, it automatically rolls back. Then we have the session ID. So let's just see how to let me check on something here. Domain driven development. To bridge the gap between business and well-defined domain model. These act as conceptual representation, business essential element and relationships developed in close collaboration with domain experts. Software designed by basing software development domain model. We have entities. So let's add this folder. And the entities will add a class. Login entity. Yes. This will be plus. Login entity will have a create which will pass a data and should give us we don't have the roles set up yet, so what we need for this is to, so this will be public need a static method. This what it will format this in the tokens. Have access token. So for the user, what do we need? Let's see what is written here. We have tokens. Login. What do I need from here? I also need to update. So update user last login. So what do we set? Drizzle set. Okay. What we'll set is last login at then last login. This IP will be empty. Okay, so with this we need this session, just the session ID. Now for this not see it will see string. So if I come back here, token session fresh, we have 3 users. I'm not sure it's time. See. DB schema in session user. Okay. It's here. Oh, always have enums. What do you pass on the and just start type of the column copy use this on random types. Okay. Not sure why we get dates instead of date time. Okay. This should be timestamp. Should be timestamp, not stamp. This should give us. This also should. This I think will be a valid date. So I think this is it for this part. Login side. What do we really need on the user? So what I need to this entity. Let me just get all the user node store. Then the user dot join key will be this. So what don't I need? Data dot needs to reset password is needed. Is email verified? First name, gender. Email verified. Yep. First log. And run a dot. And now we can just build the object. We'll reduce all the keys. There. String any. Then we'll infer which is any. In the log user part login entity but now if we only get I think now our is, but in case we also we need to delete it and delete older sessions for the user. Okay, that one we'll do later. To do implement session addition. But with this, we have something that we can work with. I think this will do it for so tokens will be using we'll see how we'll use them, but for now the session can have a token ID. So I think that will be something we can work out. I'll need to make okay, let's see all the back A8 B8 simulate login content and so tomorrow we'll continue working on this from here. I think it has been a success. Whatever we were working on now is working, and the issues we had yesterday are fixed. So I think we'll continue from tomorrow and see where we'll reach. So up to there we can. Thank you all. So if you like such kind of contents, please consider subscribing so that maybe you can grow this channel, push this for doing more, and not only this project but maybe bigger project, be able to share. Now bye bye, let's meet.